What's up, dudes and dudes to the Urinal? My name's Heather. We're back. You have some more Trove patch notes. This is going to be a very quick briefing of the hotfix that we ended up getting for this week, which hit on PC and on consoles, but also lots of other things that we're going to be showing off as well. So before we get into it, we're going to be giving away information rather than prizes. You'll have to excuse me if I seem a little bit tired. I just grinded like 7 or 8 hours today of just non-stop dread over and over and over and over again in the hopes of actually getting the mounts. And the reason for that is because they ended up changing the drop rates of the Shadow Tower mounts themselves. And I'm going to also explain a little bit to the best of my abilities how the new drops are going to end up working, because they're a little bit strange, and honestly, I'm not exactly sure why they ended up making this change, but we'll talk about that in a bit, because, like I said, we're going to be giving information rather than prizes, so I would appreciate if you would like the video, just because it shows up in searches and junk like that. This is going to be the nuke mount. Spoiler alert, I'll talk about those in a minute. So, fixed an issue where players could get stuck on login with repeated failed to join session errors. Fixed issues with various sound effects failing to play. So a lot of the sound effects are actually working again. I don't know whether or not this ended up fixing the sound effect issue with the Dreadnought specifically and everything like that. But at least when we're opening boxes and stuff like that, you do hear the nice chime when you end up getting rare items, because otherwise they got rid of that for some reason. Or at least it just wasn't there because of a bug. It's not that they got rid of it. So more importantly than any of that, though, is that the drop rate of mounts from the Shadow Tower vaults has been increased. So it specifically says Shadow Tower vaults, meaning that the bosses themselves, their drop rate is not going to be affected. I'll explain a little bit more about this for those of you that don't know what drop rates I'm talking about. But first of all, in addition, the drop rate has increased based on Shadow Tower difficulty. So on normal mode, you're going to have just normal ×1 drop rate, right? But then on hard mode, you're going to have ×2, so you're going to essentially have double the drop rate. So you could complete 200 dungeons in normal, 200 Shadow Towers where you kill the boss 200 times, which will be the same equivalent to beating the boss 100 times in hard mode, or 10 times in Ultra, just because of the fact that we've got 10 times the drop chance in Ultra mode. Did I say 100 times or 200? I probably messed it all up. So 10 Ultra runs is going to be the equivalent of doing 100 runs in normal. And the mounts that I'm talking about in question is that when you kill a Shadow Tower boss, the boss itself has a chance to drop its respective mount. All of the bosses have mounts except for Daughter of the Moon for some weird reason, even though she's supposed to be the last boss in the game. But then the Shadow Vault is going to be the box after you kill the Titan that you have to use a key on. So those boxes are what has had the change in the random number generation. The bosses themselves can still drop these mounts, but it's extremely rare. Pretty much impossible, especially for the Hydra and the Dreadnought. So more importantly than any of that, though, is that it has made a big difference. I was able to get this nuke mount out of maybe like 20 runs on the Ultra Dreadnought, which is equivalent to 200 runs on normal mode. So it's been good, you know, a little difficult to get for sure, because you gotta have a consistent group that can actually handle Ultra and try to farm it with you all day, but it's still really cool that this is actually a possibility. So the weird thing is that the way that these drops are executed is a little bit strange, because there's gonna be 2 separate mounts. There's gonna be 2 mounts for the Hydra, 2 mounts for the Dread. There's a mount for Spike Walker, Weeping, and Pinata and stuff like that as well. But we're not talking about those. We're talking about these new ones, because these are the big coveted items right now that everybody wants. So when you end up killing the boss, you're going to randomly have an item thrown into your inventory if you end up getting lucky. And it's going to be one of 2 different boxes that will contain one of the mounts. So this, you know, I want to stress this enough. There's going to be 2 boxes that you can get from the Hydra, each of them containing one of the mounts, and same with the Dreadnought, you're going to have 2 different boxes that will contain each of the mounts. The reason that I'm trying to repeat this is because lots of people are getting really confused about it and thinking, oh, so there's one box that you end up getting that contains both of the mounts and it's just a random chance of which one it contains. No, 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 no. You're just going to end up getting a box that is only going to contain one of them. I'll show footage right here. I'll insert of where I ended up actually getting the nuke mount, which was very hype for sure. Very, very cool because, man alive, we were grinding it all day, like I told you. I'm still trying to grind the Dreadnought itself, like that big guy, you know, the Dreadnought Mark II or whatever it's called. Where is it? Let me just show you this guy right here, which is actually one of the most beautiful mounts in the game. You know, I've shown footage of this in the past, but it's very, very big and beautiful. It's kind of like a smaller version of the boss, but it's the biggest mount in the entire game. So just to kind of also explain is that when you end up getting those boxes, you're going to want to unbox the mount from the box, and then that's going to be tradable. So if we actually look on the market right here and type in Hydra, you can see there's tons and tons of each of the different Hydra, well, not tons and tons, but there's definitely going to be a lot more because Hydra is something that people can grind a lot easier as opposed to the Dreadnought. All we really see is the trophy, and the trophy of the Hydra and Dreadnought have also become a lot more common as their drop rates increase as well. PS4 only. There's going to be a bit of an update that's only for the PS4, is that they fixed one of the most common PS4 crashes. I love how they don't even tell us which one, like, okay, hopefully that's the common one that everyone was dealing with. And then for PC only, they ended up fixing our Tmod files, meaning that if you're using mods outside of the Steam Workshop, they weren't working, now they're working again, which is fantastic. There's way too many people here for me to actually show off what this mount looks like. Let me hop on over to my club world, to my giveaway club world here, so I can show you what the Hydra mounts look like. They're pretty disgusting, but it's kind of cool because right now I'm actually the top mastery in the entire game because nobody else has as many of these as I do. Like, the only one that I'm missing right now is that Dread, because otherwise I have the nuke here, which I just happened to get randomly myself, luckily, and then I also ended up buying both of the Hydra mounts. So here's one of them, which is disgusting, and also I personally find very out of place for Trove. Like, it's kind of cool just because it's a severed Hydra's head, yes, but I feel it's very inappropriate for a kid's game to suddenly just have like a severed, like, it would be the equivalent of having a severed finger as a mount. It's just weird, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. But most people are probably going to like it. I personally am not a fan of the worm mounts at all. And then here's the Hydra Snake, or Snek right here. This one's not too bad. It's actually the allies that the Hydra ends up summoning, so at least it's kind of a relevant mount. It's too bad that they didn't end up having an equally cool mount for the Hydra that they do for the Dreadnought, but unfortunately, no, the Dreadnought's pretty much the only one that actually has like a good item. And as we can also take a peek here at the drop rates, clearly the Hydrakken head is a rarer mount. Same with the Dreadnought, the Dread Mark II or Mark I or whatever it's called, that one actually being a rarer mount as well. Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool trophy. And then the Chaos Chest, we got the Turbo Duck. I mean, I have a separate video that's going to show that off, but we are going to take a peek at it right here, just because I want to show you at least we got kind of a fun mount added to the game, which is neat. I definitely think that it's really cool to actually have, like, I was saying it earlier, where it's just a fun mount, you know, rather than all these overly serious ones that have been going on. And then since we haven't actually talked about it in recent video, I'm going to insert some footage of what each of the daily login items end up looking like. So there's going to be this one right here, which is kind of on the pony slash cami skeleton, but it's kind of going to be purple and green, which of course is my favorite colors. So I kind of like it. I think it's pretty cool. And then for the 18 daily login tokens, you're going to be able to get this carpet mount, which is quite disgusting. It makes sense because we do have, you know, it's October, so we got Halloween coming, which we can also expect that very, very soon, even though it doesn't actually say coming soon for some reason. I'm betting there's going to be a Halloween event. There just has to be, right? Like, there's no way that they're not going to end up doing that. And then also, just as far as the grinding of, like, the Dread and Hydra, you know, like I said, the drop rates are definitely increased. It's actually possible. That's kind of what I want to stress here, is just because that's, like, so cool that you can actually get them. And I actually got one all on my own, which I think is great. I bought the Hydras, yeah, but I am actually very happy that I ended up actually getting the other Dread Nuke itself. So another thing too that I just want to mention in passing here, which by the time this video comes out, I might already have the Dread mount, honestly speaking, because I'm gonna probably be grinding it all night as soon as I get these videos edited, rendered, and uploaded. But Yeah, I'm just going to use my YouTube influence here and say that I am definitely in the market for that Dreadnought mount. I'm willing to pay 7 mil for it, which I think is way too expensive, honestly speaking. I should probably just spend 5 mil, but 7 mil's all I got, and I figured that, hey, I'll help whoever ends up deciding to actually help me. Now, again, you can end up getting all of these mounts out of normal mode, but you're going to have ×2 chance in hard mode, which of course means you need the hard keys, and then ×10 chance in ultra, which of course makes it a lot easier because, like I said, you know, I got 20 ultra towers, which was the equivalent of 200 normals, which is pretty crazy, right? Unless my math sucks, which I'm probably bad at math anyways. But I gotta go invite a bunch of people here, and I gotta finish up a couple other videos, and as you can hear, I'm kind of tripping over my tongue, probably repeating myself quite a bit. Like I said, I'm very exhausted right now just because I grinded this all day. Not that I'm tired, I'm actually feeling pretty good. It's just grinding Shadow Towers over and over does get old, man. Like, it really does. Oh, and then also, there was so many people that ended up hardophoning me that I will probably shout them out in another video because I don't want to waste too much time on this hotfix video actually shouting them all out. But I do want to say thank you to those people, and thank you for watching. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. That's also going to end up building loyalty points for my merch store, where you can buy this new shirt and a couple others. I know I got to do an updated video on this new shirt, which that's coming. It is. But in any case, I would very much appreciate all that. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.